John 8, 1-11. But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. Now early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came to him, and he sat down and taught them. Then the scribes and the Pharisees brought to him a woman caught in adultery. And when they had laid her in the midst, they said to him, Teacher, this woman was caught in adultery, in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what do you say? This they said, testing him, that they might have something with which to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and wrote on the ground with his finger, as though he did not hear. So when they continued asking him, he raised himself up and said to them, He who is without sin among you, let him throw a stone at her first. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. Then those who heard it, being convicted by their conscience, went out one by one, beginning with the oldest even to the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had raised himself up and saw that there was no one but the woman, he said to her, Woman, where are those accusers of yours? Has no one condemned you? She said, No one, Lord. And Jesus said to her, Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Because the text says that the law says that this woman should be stoned, and Jesus does not enforce that, people have stated that Jesus is consciously not applying the law, but choosing to ignore it. First and foremost, it is essential to know that some manuscripts do not include 7:53 to 8:11. Others add the passage here, or after 7:36, or after 21:25, or after Luke 21:38, with variations in the text. But we will continue with this text, assuming it is authentic. Before we even get into the details, notice the motives of the Pharisees in verse 6. This they said, testing him, that they might have something of which to accuse him. This episode happened not because of a desire for true justice, but as a trap to ensnare Jesus. By biblical law, the woman did deserve to be stoned, if, and only if, it could be legally proven that she was an adulteress, and if the adulterer was present and proven guilty as well. God knew that the death penalty was a very serious ruling, so he put checks and precautions in place to save innocent people from being murdered by their vindictive neighbors. The first and ominous problem with this circumstance is the lack of a man. By biblical law, adultery requires both the man and the woman to be tried and, if proven to be true, executed. See Deuteronomy 22:22. What we see here is a woman, but no man. Something is suspicious here. If Jesus were to condemn her without the man, he would not be adhering to biblical law. Additionally, the text says that she was caught in adultery, but it does not specify if the witnesses were present with them or how many there were. Biblical law specifies that there be at least 2 or 3 witnesses, and that they are present in the judgment. See Deuteronomy 17:6-7, and Deuteronomy 19:15. That may or may not be an issue here, as the text does not give us that detail. The curious part is what comes next. Jesus does not respond to them, but begins writing on the ground. We're not told what he wrote, but whatever it was, it made the accusers feel convicted by their conscience and leave. I theorize that it was likely a member of the Pharisees themselves that enticed this woman undercover as a trap. When they caught her in the very act, it was because the whole thing was a setup. If this were to be the case, then the man who must be present and guilty of the same crime as the woman is among them, and they would be judged the same way they intended to judge this woman. Again, this is all speculation, but it could make a lot of sense. Regardless of the validity of my own speculation, the text is clear that there was insufficient evidence, suspects, witnesses, or motives to make the case legal by biblical standards.